I'm having a real problem with the Dallas Goedert drop. I'm not going to lie to you. It just ain't adding up to me. Now you see this play right here. We've seen it a million times. Jalen Hurts drops back in his shotgun. Dallas Goedert is actually coming wide open. But you got to stretch out for that. You got to go reach for that. You got to reach for that, and you got to make a play on that ball at 6'5". I'll tell you why you got to reach for that. Because when Carson Wentz threw this pass to Nelson Aguilar, we said he alligator-armed it. He didn't even try. I'm expecting Dallas Goedert to try on that play. Just try on that play. That's all I'm asking for. Am I wrong for keeping it the same? Now, on this one, Jalen Hurts definitely threw the ball too late. This is a miss, but the Dallas Goedert one, nah, you 6'5", go get it. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. Listen. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, I want to let you know that this video is brought to you by Manscaped. Big Manscaped in the building. Use code Brunson, save 20% off, and get the free shipping. You know they got the Lawnmower 4.0s. What's this right here? Crop Preserver, ball deodorant, the foot duster, extra razors, lawnmowers charging in the background. I got whole toiletry kits. Use code Brunson, save 20% off. The holidays coming up. Take care of some of the guys in your life and make sure you trim the grass before she come and play with Manscaped. Listen, you know the vibes, man. We got to talk about the keys to victory. A lot of people don't like the keys to victory because they feel like we're going to lose anyway. But I'm not one of them fans. Let's talk about the Denver Broncos real quick. We traveling up the Mile High. We got to make sure our wind is right and things of that nature. We got to make sure we breathing right. The air is thinner up there in the mountains. We got to go see them. Are they a new team? Or are they just a team that's riding high off of a fluke win? I think they're riding high off a fluke win, man. I'm not going to lie to you, man. No disrespect to Denver, but this is what it is. Teams in the National Football League, for the most part, are going to come overly and extra prepared for certain teams. Dallas is one of those teams. Kansas City is one of those teams. You know, you circle them games on your calendar. You know what I mean? It'll probably be Arizona this year, the Rams. You know that you got to go in there with a certain level of just intensity when you playing a team that's having a good season. And I think that's what Denver did. Being as though that's the case, I can almost bet my bottom dollar that the Denver Broncos come out there and overlook the Philadelphia Eagles. They won't be that assertive. They won't be that aggressive. They won't run the ball the way they ran the ball against the Dallas Cowboys. We should really catch these dudes overlooking us and steal a game on the road. I really like us to pull an upset on the road against the Denver Broncos. Listen, this doesn't come down to any keys, as we all know. This comes down to, what the coaches are going to do. I think Nick Sirianni found himself. I think Nick Sirianni understands that I got to do what works, and that's running the ball. You see Jordan Howard was elevated to the active roster today. You see a lot of things happening that indicates we're going to run the ball. Offensive line seems happy. You know what I'm saying? Dudes are playing well side by side. They're creating holes that no other team is creating in the National Football League right now. Over the last 2 weeks, I don't think nobody was as successful at running the ball than the Philadelphia Eagles, including the Baltimore Ravens, who also have a quarterback that runs just like we have a quarterback that run, and those stats kind of get merged together in them situations. So this comes down to whatever the defensive game plan is supposed to be going into this game, scrap it. Scrap it right now. The disrespect to even see Johnathan Gannon going up there with some type of smirk on his face was just beside me in the press conference today. It ain't nothing to be laughing about if you Johnathan Gannon. The keys to victory basically circulate around you, Johnathan Gannon, and what you're going to do with this team. What are you going to do? History shows us that if you're playing a Tom Brady, if you're playing a Dak Prescott, if you're playing a Patrick Mahomes, if you're playing a Justin Herbert, if you're playing a Derek Carr, they're going to get 80 to 90% completion percentage. Those are guys that he respects because he sat there and backed up and gave them 5-6 yards of cushion. So he respects those QBs. But he didn't do that against Sam Darnold as much. He didn't do that against Matt Ryan. You know what I mean? He didn't do that in the games like that. You know what I mean? So this just makes me believe that he won't do it for Teddy Bridgewater. He won't do it for Teddy Bridgewater. He will not go out there and respect Teddy Bridgewater. He didn't respect Jared Goff. He will not respect Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater falls into that class of guys that he's going to want to harass and pressure. Why you wouldn't do it for elite quarterbacks with elite wide receivers makes no sense in the world to me at all. You got to be, you listen, it's better to have an identity than to not have an identity. If that makes any sense. If your identity is to play close and get pressure on a quarterback, that should be the game plan every week. Every week, that should be the game plan. But this guy, Johnathan Gannon, goes out there and does something completely different week in and week out. Completely different week in and week out. And for the most part, Nick Sirianni has been the same. He tried it his way, then he switched it up midway through the season and went to a different method of attack. And I think Nick Sirianni is learning that that's what coaching is about, having a plan B. Going in with it, scheming up your plan A all week, but also teaching your plan B as well. That's what coaching is about. And Johnathan Gannon don't have a plan B. When have you seen Johnathan Gannon in the middle of the game? In the middle of the game, go out there and make a change. Never saw it. Whatever he came out there with whatever his intentions was in the beginning of the game was his intentions in the latter part of the game. The same game plan. Nick Sirianni actually came out, ran the ball on the first play, ran the ball I think one time in 2 drives, quickly switched it up. Quickly switched it up to a rushing attack. And I respected that when I saw that from Nick Sirianni. So I do got some keys though, man. Let's get into it, man. The first key to victory would be to definitely make Teddy Bridgewater uncomfortable. Now, it's a lot of things you could do to make Teddy Bridgewater uncomfortable. You don't want to give Teddy Bridgewater 5 yards of cushion because Teddy Bridgewater is smart enough to take advantage of that. The Denver Broncos are smart enough to take advantage of that. So what you want to do is you want to make him uncomfortable. You want to make the corners play up, press some of these guys. You know what I'm saying? Don't be scared of Jerry Jeudy. Don't be scared of none of these dudes. Get up in their chest, pressure them, and make this guy hold the ball a little bit. Make him think about his move. Make him at least go through his progressions. We've seen Justin Herbert just take one read and throw it to that read because it was open. We didn't even make him uncomfortable. We barely moved him off his spot. He didn't get sacked. He didn't get hit. He had the easiest day of his life as a professional quarterback against us. We can't let Teddy Bridgewater do that. Because it's one thing to know that you just rolled over and let elite wide receivers, elite quarterbacks beat you. But it's another thing to just let Teddy Bridgewater come out there and have a career day. I think if Teddy Bridgewater torches his defense for 300 yards and a couple of touchdowns and no turnovers and we barely make the punt, I think this is Johnathan Gannon's last game. I think Johnathan Gannon gets fired if he doesn't go out there and make Teddy Bridgewater uncomfortable. Point blank, period. So the first key is to make Teddy Bridgewater uncomfortable. The second key will have to go to Nick Sirianni in the offense. You still want to have some sort of rushing attack. The Denver Broncos, they're good against the run, and they're good at running the ball. But you got to keep, even if it's looking stingy, even if they're being stingy with the run, you got to keep wearing them down with Jordan Howard. You got to keep mixing it in. Jordan Howard, Boston Scott, Kenneth Gainwell. You got to keep running the ball. You got to keep them honest, and then you want to have an effective play action and an effective passing game with time and routes and all of that stuff as well. You know what I mean? You want to do that as well. Another key is, I would definitely like to see Devontae Smith asserted early and often in this game. The same way with Dallas Goedert. I like how we targeted those two guys early. We kind of went to Devontae a little later than after Dallas Goedert, but those were the first two guys to get in on the action. That's how it should be. I want to see some more wide receiver screens. I want to see us to dive deeper and deeper into the playbook and do some things that, always are in favor of the quarterback. Jalen Hurts did a really, really good job with improvising last week and using his legs. I think he'll have to do that as well. I don't think Patrick Surtain is playing, young budding star for the Denver Broncos, but Smitty is playing, as we all know. I want us to be aggressive. I want to try a few deep balls this week. We haven't done it in a couple weeks. We've been on the ground a lot. We haven't really tried to attack nobody through the air. But I want to try a couple deep balls this week. I want to put Jalen Hurts in a position to prove his arm. Go ahead and prove your arm. You know what I'm saying? Prove your arm. You did a really, really good job in the second half of that game. You was going score for score with Justin Herbert, even though Justin Herbert had the handicap of having guys not pressure him and sagging off cornerbacks. Like we play defense like we got a 50-point lead. We just giving dudes cushion and making sure they don't beat us deep. Like, come on. That's not the way to play defense when you're in close games, period. But, I think they got some things to figure out, man. So that's the keys to victory. I hope we go out there and get this dub like I know we can. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Add your keys to the comments to this video. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to talk about it and we're going to further discuss. But I do think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win this game by 10+ points on the road against the Denver Broncos. It is not going to be easy. Teddy Bridgewater is not a slouch at all. And we need to respect Teddy Bridgewater. But don't respect him too much because we'll give him 5 yards of cushion.